Do you want to know what makes knowledge grow? Then everybody watch the Deen Show. The Deen Show.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. That's that greeting, that wonderful greeting of peace. We're wishing it upon you. Now pay attention. We're going to paint a picture here, and we really want you to reflect. And then we're going to go into our topic. You just came home. It's late at night. And you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And what took you hours to put on, it's coming off. All that makeup and that tears coming down your eye. And now, all your friends are gone. It's just you. You're starting to reflect and think because you feel the effects. You feel the effects because you feel you stained your heart again. You put another dot on it, another black spot, and those are for the sins. You're out there and you're fearful about the people in the society, worrying about what they might say, and you're forgetting about your Creator, the one who gave you life, who will give you death, who you're gonna have to return to. So you don't want to put the hijab on. You don't want to make the salat. You don't want to prostrate to the one who gave you everything, but you want to worry about Joe and Mo and Susie and Fancy and Nancy and these people that tomorrow aren't going to be there when you're in your grave. So you have to choose this life, which is temporary, or the next life, which is forever. So we want to give you some advice, some enthusiasm to race for something that's permanent and not to race for something that's temporary. With my next guest, Dr. Mendu, here on The Deen Show. We'll be right back.
Allah, there's only one God and Muhammad is his messenger. Allah, la ilaha illallah. Allah, there's only one God and Jesus was his messenger. Allah, la ilaha illallah.
I don't know why I did that. Maybe it's just to break the ice. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Peace be unto you. Thank you for coming back to the Deen Show.
Thank you.
People can learn more about you at TheDeenShow.com. You have your own section there. Advisor, academic advisor for the American Open University, and the list goes on. So much to talk about you, but they can go and read your biography, but we want to get straight to the topic. Okay. I try to paint a picture. She might have just came from the nightclub. He might have just came, and all that makeup, it's coming off. It's smearing over the face. She might have been getting used and abused, and now it's all in the interest of fitting in, worrying about what my friends and the culture around me might say if I just cover it up a little bit, if I just do something that, you know what, I don't want to drink. I don't want to go to the casino bins. I don't want to go to the nightclubs. Why? Because I'm one who has submitted myself. I want peace from the one who's the owner of peace, the Creator. So how can we get people to focus more on something that is permanent, paradise, and the pleasure of the Creator instead of this temporary and transit life? Talk to us, please, Shaykh.
Let me begin with asking people, do they have vision in life? Do they have mission in life? You know that the most advanced and complicated technologies and companies and corporates nowadays cannot live without that, cannot live without a vision and a mission. And the vision is usually tells us that a person would think of or would plan for something for the future. He looks into the future. He doesn't look just beneath his feet. And we need to ask ourselves, do we have a vision? Where is our vision? Where is our focus? Where is our goal? Where does it end? And Islam gives us a lot of answers for this in different ways. It's only one answer. We Muslims are asked by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have our vision on later life, not in this, as he said, temporary life, because temporary life will end sooner or later. We've never seen a person living on the earth forever. Nobody did that. So that means any one of us can learn from this lesson, whether he is a Muslim or not a Muslim. Everybody, there would be a time that this life would end. The question is there another life? Or that's it? For those people who think that this is the end of life, it would mean that the existence on this planet is useless. Why did they exist on this earth? Why did Allah create us? We ask, why did Allah create us? What is your purpose in life? I would say very simply answered and stated in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to worship Him with the full meaning, the comprehensive meaning of worshiping. In other words, to obey what He created us for and to avoid the things that He didn't want us to follow. This is the simple analysis of worshiping Almighty Allah. So I would ask that if I know that this life, it's impossible that we die and that's it.
And people are dying every day.
People are dying every second.
Every second, people are dying. They're going somewhere.
The tsunami everywhere, the fire somewhere.
But people just can't fathom. They can't. They know it. They see it in the movies.
Absolutely.
They see it from their neighbors or the actors or this. But they can't imagine it's going to happen to me.
Simply
why?
Because they don't reflect.
Reflection.
They don't have time for themselves. But all the people in their lifetime, they are either watching movies, or playing music, or dancing, or busy working, or doing things. So they are all the time busy, preoccupied by things.
Yeah.
So they don't have time, free time for themselves to reflect, to think, who am I? Where am I going? Am I going to die like others? The answer is I just last week lost my uncle. It happens everywhere. Take some time and listen, but people don't give themselves time. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said that you should give the rights to everyone. Mm-hmm. Some of the rights is that you have right upon yourself, that you have to relax, you have to think. And this is the essence of the ibadah. The Muslim, when he makes the 5 daily prayers, he's always connected with Allah. He always links that he does this prayer because this is the thing that keeps him away from doing bad things.
Is it a good thing to think about death? Is it a good thing to...
This is a wonderful question.
Yeah.
I was about to jump into this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, right? كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Each soul will taste death. No exception.
So, I mean, Bill Gates...
Everybody.
He's got a lot of money.
Everybody. Whether he has money or no money.
Obama's the president.
Everyone. No exception.
So it doesn't matter what
presidents,
status you are,
servants, rich people.
How about if you're up in an ivy tower,
the ivy tower, wherever.
No, it's still going to come.
Everybody is going to die.
Barricaded somewhere in a bunker?
Somewhere in
it's coming.
In the bottom of the earth.
It's going to reach you.
It's coming. And people of wisdom, they see that. Their old people die, some people, the young children die out of cancer and in an accident. We see it every second.
So is that the deception? Is that the plan of the satanic forces, shaitan, that deceiving you with all the entertainment, not to reflect like you're telling us?
Absolutely, to keep you busy, to keep you busy, to keep you away from the straight path. This is one of the tasks of the shaitan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is something wonderful in the Quran, that at the end of the Quran, there are 2 words, right? Is al-jinnah wan-nas. That these 2 people, these 2 types, they are the ones who cause problems in many cases. That they're jinns and human beings.
So like the unseen world.
So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from min al-jinnati wan-nas, from the acts of the Satan or the devil, and from the acts of bad people that take many forms, that take form in press, in friendship, in the media, whatever people, some people are bad. So you don't know really whether this person is bad or good, but you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you from their evil.
From the evil jinn and from the evil human beings. And we're going to cut out there and we'll be right back here on The Deen Show.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
All of the prophets would have been labeled Muslims, because this essential message was the same message: submission to the will of God. This is God talking to you directly.
How could I stand behind the pulpit on Sunday morning and preach a sermon that I knew was at variance with the actual taproot of Christianity?
Welcome back to the Dean Show, here with Dr. Mandu. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
So we were talking about, we finished off with the jinn. This is the unseen
Yes,
world
we
of spirits.
asked,
And the
Human,
human
evil
beings,
humans.
evil
Not
humans,
all humans, the evil ones.
people who are basically bad company. People who will, like they say, birds of a feather flock together. So
Absolutely.
there's that one hadith, if you can elaborate on, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that hanging around with somebody who is like a perfume seller,
Yeah.
you're going to end up, can you talk?
Yes, the Prophet ﷺ said many hadiths
Yeah.
about this issue, many statements. And again, when we say the Prophet ﷺ said that, we believe that it is an inspiration, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these meanings to him. And he is the one who said it by his language. The Prophet ﷺ said that al-mar'u ala dini akhi.
Yeah.
The person follows the way of his friend. That which goes
So
back
that's
to
what we're
birds of a
talking.
feather.
Yeah.
Flock together.
So that's those, if you have devilish friends, meaning they're
Absolutely.
robbing, stealing, or even they're going to the nightclub,
Absolutely.
they're fornicating, doing all
Absolutely.
sorts of evils,
Absolutely.
smoking the blunts,
Absolutely.
doing the drugs,
Yeah.
you're going to end up probably doing the
Right.
same thing. Those are the satanic forces you should
Yes, this
stay away
are the
from. That-
effects of it. Yeah, you
bad
should-
company. That's
so
what you're
bad
talking about.
company, exactly.
So stay away from this. Now, going back to
Issue of death.
reflecting upon the moment that your soul will be extracted from your body,
Yes.
the moment you're going to leave this world. Let's keep continuing to talk about
Yeah,
this.
exactly. As I said, that there are many verses in the Quran, that one of them is that every soul, every human being is going to taste death. It's a reminder. So now, what is the solution? That's why the Prophet ﷺ gave us some tips that would help us to really connect with later life. For example, the Prophet ﷺ said that talk as much as you can about death.
It's encouraged now.
Encourage. Now he's encouraging us. And he didn't call it death, by the way, he called it the separator of lovers.
Separator of lovers?
Yes, mufarriq al-ahbab. Because
Elaborate,
people
what
love
it-
each other. Because I love you and you love me. We
Yeah.
love each other. We have good relationship. But death comes and cuts this relationship.
So should we be
So
pessimistic,
it's-
sad about
it's
this
sep-
now?
No, of course, we should know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's nothing, it's beyond our hands.
But you're deceiving yourself by not thinking about
Absolute, but not thinking. A lot of people say, okay, let me not think of it now.
Yeah.
I want to live my moment. Wow. Islam tells you live your moment, but live it according to the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The creator of the heavens
The
and earth.
creator of the heaven.
Yeah.
The one who created you wants you to spend this time in that way. And that's why there is a beautiful verse in the Quran that says, وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Meaning that in everything that you do in your life, seek paradise. Seek later life. Gear it towards later life. Use it as an axis that help you to reach later life, to reach paradise safely. However, don't forget the portion of enjoyment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you for in this life.
Some people start thinking, okay, man, you start saying paradise, they think of Hollywood, Bollywood. I mean, they think that this guy is off, the wagon. What's going on? How do you get them to really know that this is the mirage? This is something
the
that
mirage.
is not really reality.
Yeah.
Next life is forever. That's reality.
Absolutely.
How do we get them?
Yeah. It just by knowing, by having some knowledge about, and I wish that every human being would take a couple of courses about the description of paradise.
Yeah.
Once you know what is there, you will leave what is here.
Yeah.
So people, because they don't know what is here. One time I had a lecture, I think it was in Ohio, and it was in a very luxurious place. And I said, try to imagine that this place that we are in, with all these pillars changing into, instead of bricks, into gold and silver and
Wow. Saffron
and all these beautiful things. So there was a soldier there listening to us. He said, that, is this possible? I said, yes. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised us, that we will see this in paradise. Yeah. And we're not talking about a house as big as this. We're talking about a house that you would never, ever have seen a house similar to it in this life.
Nothing that can compare
Nothing
to it.
that's similar to it.
But don't people do this when they're in this world? They plan on retirement and they have some vision in their head from what's in this world. They paint a picture and they strive for it.
Yeah.
Should we paint something better than that?
Absolutely. A Muslim should plan for that. We have the guarantee from Almighty Allah. If you do good and if you do follow this and this and this, I guarantee you a palace in paradise with these descriptions, with perils and goals and everything that you love in this dunya. Even the shortcut description of it paradise has things that you've never seen by your eye, you've never heard about, and you never thought of. That means all the beautiful things that you see in this life and this world, they are very trivial in comparison to what you will see in paradise.
No comparing. Tell us, because these programs, so little time, so much to cover. The person that I described in the beginning, a black spot on the heart, so much sin.
Yes.
This is something that is actually, isn't this a mercy to have a person reflect? Because the more you do these wrong things, the more you disobey your Creator, aren't you going to keep staining your heart and you're going to feel the effects of the sin?
This is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said. Every time this heart, which is a blank heart, when we do a sin, when we do something bad, it has a spot, a black spot.
That's why she shed the tear, huh?
And that's it, until there is a time that all of it is wrapped by spots that he no longer or she no longer can see and can distinguish. But her cries, I think, is a good sign, because that means she still has some goodness in her heart. Of course, there is life there. It's still vibrant. It's still that she knows that what she's doing is bad and she wants to stop it. But the effect of the society and community on her is tremendous. She cannot resist it. And we'll talk about some ways how to resist this.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. God willing, on the Deen Show. Assalamu alaikum.
Comes to you the truth and the attribute of the one who created you, that he's one and alone running this universe, that he doesn't become born, he doesn't die, he doesn't eat and then go to the bathroom. This is not God.
You got problems here. It doesn't make sense. Who was Jesus worshiping? Because it's recorded in the Gospels. Despite all of the other issues about the Gospels, we put those aside. We just say it's mentioned there that Jesus worshiped God.
One who protects us from hunger. I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah's by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah's by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah's by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone.
Welcome back to the Deen Show. Dr. Mehdu, how does someone now, because it's difficult, we have some empathy. I mean, someone might have not gotten the direction, the guidance, and now it's coming to him. And I think this also has a greater impact because now you know the truth. You know that, all right, I need to be making these prayers. I need to just be directing worship to God. There are many things he wants me to do. And the society, the phone calls on the weekends, let's go, girl, get ready. Let's go and hang out with the boys. You shouldn't be doing this. Your friend told you, look, this is not acceptable. You should be dressing modestly. But now the culture, the environment, and the balance of, I know that I have to answer for this. I'm going to die tomorrow. So we're caught in between. Give us some advice.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I'd like to remind each one that there's a difference between a leader and a follower. Leaders are the people who lead others to achieve something. Followers are just following others. So if you think in terms of being a follower all the time, you are affected by the people around you, by the peer group, by the media, by your peers, you are a second-hand person. You're not in the first priority. You're not a leader. You need to be a leader, to be independent. I take my decision. I'm not going to be affected by what I see on the movies. I'm not going to be affected by what my friends do. I'm going to follow the one who created all of us.
Simple as that.
The one who created me, he knows what is good for me, what is bad for me. This created thing or this created thing does not know how to fix itself. If it goes bad, it cannot fix itself. It needs someone who manufactured it to fix it. When I go wrong, when I do something bad, right? When I need someone to fix me, I cannot fix myself. The one who fixes me is Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He sent me a manual that if I follow, I can fix this, and I can fix this, and I can fix this. People need to think of this. Once they have that, they believe that there is God, the Almighty God, and He's all-knowing, and He's all-wise, and He's the most wise, and with all His qualities. And the more they know about Him, the more they would trust Him. And once they trust Him, they submit themselves to Him. Oh God, do what you want to do with me. I got the manual. I'm going to follow your instruction. And that's why you find some people very pleased with Almighty Allah. Whatever happens to them, as long as they follow the guidelines that He sent us from the Quran, they are very pleased, no matter what happens to them.
And can you tell us, there's a lot of logic behind this, isn't it? Because, for instance, give some examples, like where He says that a person shouldn't drink, for instance.
Yeah.
Or a person shouldn't fornicate, have relations outside of marriage.
Yes.
We can see the side effects of someone, let's say, it starts off moderately drinking, and then he starts binge drinking, gambling, just a few of these wisdoms that we see. If we abstain from it, it's just going to make our life better.
Absolutely. Now, for example, yesterday I was driving, and there was a sign, a post. From time to time it comes here, and it says that report drunk drivers. I just asked myself, and Brother Hassan was with me, and I asked them, well, why is this? Definitely, this means that they realized that drunk drivers, drunken ones, they cause problems, and many accidents happen, not only to themselves, but they kill innocent people. This is the effect of wine. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said an amazing statement about wine. He said that this is the mother of all evil. Because when somebody is drunk, he can kill, he can fornicate, he can do any other thing.
Doesn't matter.
Because he loses his brain.
His inhibitions.
And because people became so addictive to it, it became difficult. And that's why you find some countries in their legislation, they say that, okay, you're allowed to drink this amount of, which they think that it does not affect your state of thinking or your state of your brain. And again, this may not affect that person, but it may affect that person. Because no measure that tells us all human beings are equal in this.
These are just some examples we want to give so people can see, like, wow, that does make sense. My Creator, He's the wisest, so that's His attribute. He should know best.
Of course, He knows best.
Right?
He should know best. And you see the difference? I'll give you two situations and you can compare that. One situation took place at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. The way the Prophet ﷺ handled dealing with addiction of alcoholism, and what happened, for example, in the USA in this prohibition period, we call it, in the 1930s.
Something like that,
in the beginning of the 1930s. And you see the two approaches. The approach of the Prophet ﷺ, he would never ask people to stop drinking wine until they became good believers. So meaning that when they were fully convinced that there is Almighty Allah, and there is a day of judgment, and they will be asked about everything they do in their life, and they are sure that there are two angels registering everything that happens. When this belief was implanted in their hearts, the Prophet ﷺ started teaching them to change their addiction to it. Alcoholism.
I see the key. So the faith would start to build up.
Absolutely.
The picture would be vivid in their head.
Vivid in their head.
Paradise is there.
Absolutely.
Great rewards. And there is also the punishment.
Absolutely.
Hellfire.
Yeah.
And knowing that, because some people think that, okay, if I get locked up, my friends go with me, we'll just have a good time there.
Okay.
When you go into grave, we're going to just make some fun. We'll be in there together. You're by yourself, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So this is what
everyone will be by himself. Yeah.
Friends aren't there.
And the people who talk theoretically, they don't know the effect of hellfire. I ask any brave person, he would just put his hand in fire just for 30 seconds. just to see the effect of it.
Yeah.
How but fire is around him from everywhere.
What if someone says, you know what, it's just going to burn me a little bit, then I won't feel it again?
Absolutely. This is a logic. A lot of people say that. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran responds to this.
Wow.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that every time their skin is burnt, they will be given new skin.
Wow.
In order to taste the torture of hellfire.
That's a scientific miracle right there.
A scientific miracle.
Wow.
So nobody can deceive Allah. We can deceive each other.
Uh-huh.
You can deceive me, I can deceive you, he can deceive me. Yeah, people can deceive each other. But nobody can deceive Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the all-knowing and He is the Almighty.
Someone says, you know what, okay, this thing is, give us the reasoning behind this, because if this is supposed to be a loving and merciful God, why would He punish me?
Absolutely. This loving God has been nourishing you in this life and has been teaching you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't do that. In many places, do this instead. Do this because this leads to do this. I'll give you some examples. See this example. See what happened to this nation. See what happened with the followers of this prophet. See, and he gives you hundreds of stories, one after another, to keep reminding you that this is the outcome. This is the result of a person who does this and this. And you can see it by your own logic. In any country, the regulation of traffic would not allow you 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times to violate
Allah's giving you chance after chance.
Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you chance after chance after chance, hundreds, sometimes thousands of chances, and still you don't want to obey.
Rebellious.
What would happen in any law in the world? Just after one time, they perhaps will forgive you, but the second time, they will put you in jail.
Yeah.
And the third time, they may kill you. Yeah. Because otherwise, there will be corruption on the earth.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what is happening. When people don't follow the rules of Almighty Allah, there is a lot of corruption in the world.
Yeah.
You can see how many accidents in the world that can be avoided just by keeping away from wine.
Tell us, we're almost out of time, so we really want to, because they come this far, they're listening, and it's that effect of when you hear this, it's logical, it's rational. So some advice for that person who is really stuck in between this. They want to submit. When they listen, they get watery-eyed, and there's something in the heart that's pulling them. But after they shut this off, they might turn something else on, a reality TV show, and now they're totally gone again.
Now, the first step that you do, immediately take this, and I want you to open the Quran anywhere in the Quran. Just read one page and read the translation of it very well. And if you have a Muslim friend, call him or call her and try to understand the meaning of this. And try to see, does it make sense to you or not? And then keep yourself busy doing that until day after day you will find yourself learning from. And at the same time, one of the best things that you do nowadays, keep away from bad company for some time and see your behavior after that. And you will find that one common comment from all the parents when their children became Muslims, I'm talking about adults becoming Muslims, they say that the first thing that we noticed, that they became better people. Yeah. They started respecting us more. They started serving us more. They started serving the community more. And all this is a result of becoming a Muslim and knowing the truth. Because you know exactly when you become a Muslim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the way, step by step, and it takes you until you reach safely, inshallah, to a later life and with full enjoyment forever. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me and those who listen and my host and all the people on the earth with no exception, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide them to the truth so that they will be saved from the torture in the second life.
Ameen. Thank you very much. May God Almighty Allah reward you. And we got to learn some more. Isn't it wonderful discussing these beautiful topics, things that are meaningful, not meaningless. So if you really reflect, take some time out with yourself and think about the moment when you will leave this world. You will depart from it no more. It's done, over. What have you accomplished? So what you do in this life will reflect your status in the next life. And we're doing this to remind you so you can be those who are in the delights of paradise. And that's what we all should be striving for, not for something that is temporary. Be the best doctor, be the best in society, but don't forget about your responsibilities to the one who created you, because he loves you the best. He loves you the most. So yearn to love him and show that you love him by being obedient, by being one who is in a state of compliance with what he wants you to do. And it will only bring you peace. So acquire peace by submitting your will to the will of the Creator. We'll see you next time here on The Dean Show. Until then, peace be unto you.
He created the universe. To him belong the heavens and the earth. The ever-living, he is the first. He's the owner of mercy. He sent his messengers to warn his creatures of the grave dangers of worshiping other than Allah. There is none greater than the